Rating each team in the NFL. First up, we have the Cardinals. Not much to say here. The meh. Going 8-8 and having one of the weirdest logos in the NFL. Is this an Angry Bird or something? Next up, the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm sorry if you have to root for this team. How do you blow a 28-9 lead, Super Bowl 51, in only 15 minutes? Literally every game, if the Falcons are winning, they choke and blow the lead. Baltimore Ravens. How do you have the ugliest color scheme in all of the NFL? The yellow, purple, white, and black are just terrible. Kind of like the Ravens pass game. The only good player on the Ravens is Lamar Jackson. Baltimore has both a terrible baseball and football game. Buffalo Bills. What team starts with the letter B and ends with a terrible loss to the Chiefs? Really? This year was their first playoff win since 1995. The only Bills fans live in the middle of nowhere. Carolina Panthers. A below-average team. The Panthers were good many years ago, and then it all fell apart. After having the divisional and conference title, the Panthers were never good again. Also, Panthers fans don't really exist. Chicago Bears. The Bears were a 500 team, meaning 8 wins and 8 losses. Mitchell Trubisky, the quarterback, won the Nickelodeon Most Valuable Player after losing in the playoffs. Most importantly, the Bears logo is not symmetrical. The Cincinnati Bengals. Being a 4-11-1 team is an improvement for the Bengals. Also, most people do not know what a Bengal is. By the way, a Bengal's a cat. Cleveland Browns. This year was the first time the Browns made the playoffs in almost 20 years. The only known player on the Browns is Baker Mayfield. Finally, their helmets are pure garbage. Dallas Cowboys. Injuries. Winning 37.5% of the time is not great, but is definitely not the worst. Being a Giants fan, it is tough to say anything good about the Cowboys. The Broncos. Enough orange team colors. The Broncos are bad. Their offense is bad. Their defense is bad. Ever since Peyton Manning left, the Broncos have been bad. The Detroit Lions. Another bad team. One bad team after the next. Anyway, let's talk 2008 for a minute. The first team to lose all 16 regular season games. What a record. 5-11 is an improvement. Green Bay Packers. Not that bad. The only thing missing from the team is talent. Aaron Rodgers is good. The Packers need receivers, defense, and skill. Aaron is carrying the team. The Texans. Bad. Deshaun Watson is good. The Texans are not. Normally, when a team does badly, they get a good draft pick. But the Texans traded their draft pick. The Texans are helpless. The Indianapolis Colts. A well-rounded team, being in a half trash, meaning the Jaguars and Texans, and a half great Titans and Colts division, is a tough judgment. 6.5 out of 10 rating. The Jacksonville Jaguars. What do the Jaguars and the post office have in common? Both don't deliver on Sundays. Last place. Last place in their division. Last place in their conference. Last place in the NFL. The only brightness in the Jaguars is their likely pick of Trevor Lawrence. The Kansas City Chiefs. What state do you think the Kansas City Chiefs play in? Not Kansas, Missouri. Besides having a misleading name, Mahomes and the Chiefs are pretty good. The Las Vegas Raiders. 8-8, meh. Average. From Oakland to Las Vegas, meh. Nothing but meh. The Los Angeles Chargers are just below average, having some great and some terrible games. The Chargers are very inconsistent, being blown out 45-0 in one game and winning the next. The Los Angeles Rams, always below the Seahawks, barely squeezing through to the wild card, winning as the underdog and then losing in the divisional round. The Miami Dolphins, a big improvement. 10-6 is a lot better than 5-11. Smart trading, getting a great round 1 draft pick from the Texans. Not good enough for the playoffs, though. FYI, I do not like the Dolphins. Minnesota Vikings, another below average team. The past 2 teams have been pretty average, nothing much else to say here. New England Patriots. I know this has been said before, but it is true. Below average, below average QB, below average offensive line, below average defense. For the record, I do not support the Patriots. The New Orleans Saints. The Saints who are about $99 million over the market cap. They are basically in debt for spending more than they can afford. In other news, Drew Brees, a great quarterback who hopefully returns in the 2021-2022 season. New York Giants, the Giants. This year they were robbed of a playoff spot because of the Eagles. Although the Giants had playoff possibility, this year was not in any way great. Starting off 0-5 with the Jets, also 0-5, the 2 broke records. Anyway, Daniel Jones is just meh. Lastly, Saquon Barkley, the injured running back. He is good, but the Giants need even more greatness. The New York Jets. Where should I begin? It was week 12. The Jets were 0-11. The Jets-Raiders game was in the 4th quarter with a few seconds left to go. The score was just about set, with the Jets on their way to their first victory. Suddenly, the Raiders won as the clock hit 0. Anyway, the Jets did not play well this year and have room for improvement. This offseason, the Jets need to train and trade. Philadelphia Eagles. Terrible. The Eagles had no good QB. Nearly every few weeks, there would be a new starting quarterback playing. Being a Giants fan doesn't help me see brightness in the Eagles. The Eagles have bad offense, defense, and coaching. Overall, a terrible year for the Eagles. The San Francisco 49ers. Where should I begin? Last year, the 49ers were the NFC champions and were in the Super Bowl. This year, the 49ers were not even close to being as good as they were last year. Injuries did not help the 49ers this season. Having players injured is tough. In other news, Garoppolo may not be a 49er for much longer after many trade rumors have spread. The Seattle Seahawks, an unfortunate loss to the Rams, terminated this team's season. The Seahawks had a pretty good season, winning their division. Now let's talk about Week 12 of the NFL season when the Giants faced the Seahawks. The game was a defensive game. At halftime, the game was 5-0 Seahawks. The Giants ended up winning. This was because the Seahawks' defense was not too good. Overall, the Seahawks do have potential next year, though. Pittsburgh Steelers. The once undefeated team, Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers were 11-0 until confronted by the Washington football team. The Steelers ended the season 12-4, just ahead of the Browns and Ravens. The Steelers' season finished after losing 48-37 to the Browns. The Steelers are going to be doing much trading this offseason, so who knows how they'll look next year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneer season. Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl, leading Tom Brady to his 7th ring. Former Patriots Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers were an 11-5 team, an improvement from last year's 7-9 team. For the record, despite the Super Bowl, Tom Brady is the worst. Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans were one of the 3 teams to be undefeated after 5 games. The Steelers put the streak away in Week 7. The Titans finished the regular season 11-5, tied with the Colts. In the postseason, the Titans were defeated by the Ravens, maybe next year. And finally, the Washington football team. The Washington football team, the team without a name. In my opinion, to compete in the National Football League, you must have a team name. The Washington football team was a 7-9 team, making it into the playoffs. The Washington football team had its ups and downs, but I do not think they were a playoff material. Being a Giants fan, my opinion may be biased, but I do not think the Washington football team was ready for the postseason. Also, their logo is definitely the worst in the entire NFL. Thanks for watching my NFL rating series. Have a great day.